Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Woo! I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, where today we're going to be taking a look at every version of the ToyBiz Marvel Legends Urban Legends box set, Spider-Man. And there's other repaints and other variants of it, for example, this one here, that people just call Urban Legends because that's kind of the most popular version of it. But what it basically boils down to is different accessories and different color schemes. This is how the eyes look like on mine. I customized them to look like this. Basically what I'm showing you here is the different shades of red and blue. You see this one is a darker red and darker blue, this one is lighter, and this is also what the eyes look like originally. So ToyBiz repainted this figure a bunch. I got most of these images from a website called figurerealm.com. It's not a sponsor. I just feel like giving them verbal credit instead of just putting here like text at the bottom that says pictures from figurerealm.com. Because it's a website where there's like user submitted images, so there's like proof that these exist and I'm not just making stuff up. And I'm sorry how blurry these pictures look. So I'm going to put a link in the description to their Spider-Man figures so you can take a look at them and see the different ToyBiz Spider-Man figures. So the first known release and first known version of this figure is from Spider-Man Classic Series 6 called Parachute Spider-Man with Removable Working Parachute. I don't know if this parachute actually works. I can't find any images or any videos of it actually working. Fabric parachute, obviously, and it looks honestly kind of part of the Spider-Man Halloween costume, which I think it's done pretty nicely. It is a little plastic piece you clip onto Spider-Man's waist. As like if you're an adult collector or just someone who doesn't play with toys, you're probably not going to find much fun with this. This little image here on the bottom of the box, it's like product release image by ToyBiz. It shows this figure. This is the ToyBiz Web Splasher Spider-Man. So they put this picture of the figure, which is the wrong figure. Sometimes ToyBiz did that. Is the Series 11 of Spider-Man Classics called Sneak Attack Spider-Man with dual action base. And it has similar colors to Urban Legends Spider-Man. So based upon these images I found on the back of the packaging, you can put Spider-Man on this perch up top, and then you flick the button on the bottom, and then it shoots Spider-Man through the window. He's attacking through the window. If you put him on the bottom floor and you flick the button, it has him shooting out through the door, which I think, again, it's pretty cool, like if you're like a little kid. But the actual base itself, it looks good. You could just put that like on a shelf displayed behind Spider-Man, and I think it looks pretty cool. So the next time this figure appears is again in Series 11, called Spider-Man Triple Threat with Propeller Launching Action. As far as the back of the packaging, that explains the gimmick. From what I gather, you strap this kind of backpack to Spider-Man's back, and then he has this lever on the back connected to a rope, and then you pull it, and it's supposed to send those propellers out to attack enemies, which I think it looks kind of cool. It looks more like something that would go with Power Rangers. So the next release of this figure is the Marvel Legends Urban Legends box set, along with Daredevil, Punisher, and Elektra. Not brand new, but I bought all the figures. The difference is it comes with a display base that I think says Urban Legends. Next, we've got one of the more interesting releases of this figure, and that is in the Spider-Man Classics, I guess, wave, called Spider-Man, or called Spider Glider Car, the ultimate crime-fighting vehicle. You get the Urban Legends Spider-Man as the driver for this car. Probably not something I would want as a kid either. I'm not a big fan of toy cars. Yeah, so there's this one too. So next up, we're actually going to switch from the Spider-Man Classics line to the Amazing Spider-Man line of figures, which was basically ToyBiz's sequel to Spider-Man Classics. I don't know why they changed the name, but they did. The first one I can find of these is actually a 2-pack between Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. The only difference is he has a metallic blue. I can't find any images or listings of this box set on eBay or anywhere. One of the best Hobgoblin figures probably ever made, along with a really solid Spider-Man figure with a metallic blue. And on eBay, this figure goes for like $60. Next up, we've got the last one that is called the Amazing Spider-Man Web Splasher Spider-Man. Not to be confused with Web Splashers Spider-Man, which is this figure. Similar to showing the wrong figure on the packaging, ToyBiz put the Spider-Man Classics Series 1 figure on the packaging with a metallic blue paint. But in reality, it's this figure body with metallic blue paint. But I do think it would be cool to see this figure with a metallic color scheme. I think that would look really cool. As far as the gimmick goes, it's another backpack you put on Spider-Man, and you fill it with water, and then I can't really tell what's going on here, but you pretty much press a button, and then Spider-Man shoots water out of the backpack. You know, it's fine enough if you're like playing at a pool or in a bathtub. This is the ToyBiz Snapshot Spider-Man packaging. It is Snapshot Spider-Man, and Snapshot Spider-Man looks like this. This is what Snapshot actually looks like. But on the packaging, they put an image of Urban Legends Spider-Man, and this also being partially a review. I'm going to go over the articulation on this guy. Mine I somehow cracked the neck right there, so when he looks up, sometimes his head falls down. The web lines are done on it pretty nicely. The web lines were still clean, and then when I added the eyes, they're still fine. Here on the back, the web lines are kind of messed up. Like, there's a couple parts here and there where the web lines don't look the best. Like here, there's some blemishes, and I don't think that's actually a QC thing. I think that's just how they come out. All of them come out looking like that for the most part. Another weird thing they did is that these hinges, instead of using blue for these, they used red, and then they painted them, but once you start moving the leg like this, it just rubs the paint off. The paint is done very nicely on the body, like even on the fingers, it's very clean. Another issue I have is the Spider logo is not as prominent in dark red compared to the rest of the body, so it looks kinda strange there. He's not a buff Spider-Man compared to like Sinister Six Spider-Man, who has like crazy hyper developed and very defined muscles. He's a bit more of your skinny, kind of Bagley style Spider-Man, you know. Still got the big pecs, big six-pack, the rib muscles here. He does have big shoulders, big ball-shaped shoulders. These are the kind of shoulders that people complain about when they don't like ToyBiz figures, but the way these are designed, they offer incredibly good range, which we'll get to, combined with the butterfly joints. On the side of the leg here, it's 2003 Marvel Entertainment, made in China, ToyBiz Worldwide 2003. And the bottom of the feet has peg holes. The boots there painted pretty nicely. Not perfect, like that one's really thick for some reason, but overall it looks pretty good. Even got the detail there on the tip of his toes. They used red pins. They could have just used blue, and that would look so much more flush. It would blend in way better. Let's take a look at the articulation on this guy. So he can look up about that far. I probably forced it and I broke the neck, but he can look up. I would say that's honestly probably good enough. He can look down all the way. It rotates all the way around. The arms go all the way up. They obviously go all the way down. They rotate all the way around. And then he has butterfly joints. So this is his neutral arm, and that's butterfly forward, back. So he has, I think it goes back a little more. Yeah, a little bit more back. So crazy range on the butterfly joints forward and back. And then combine this joint along with the big shoulders, you can actually get his arms to cross. You can get his arms to cross, so he can be like shooting webs in two directions. But the more practical use is, you know, he doesn't have fists or gripping hands, unfortunately, but if you were to put like a web line or some wire in between his hands, you can get him to do a swinging pose. Bicep swivel is the same. Perfect double jointed elbow, rotation here in the glove. You get a hinge in the wrist that goes that far up, I guess, and that far down. Then you have the finger hinge joint. The ab crunch goes back, honestly, kind of all the way pretty much. Very good range. It goes forward all the way as well, which is really good. I think it actually beats Sinister Six Spider-Man. He has a waist swivel here that works good. Legs kick forward that much. I bought it used, so the joints aren't super tight, but he kicks forward all the way. If you go out to the side a little bit, he goes forward pretty high. He goes back barely, and he can do full-on splits. Thigh swivel, double bend in the knee that has like pretty much perfect range, I would say. Rotation here in the boot. The ankle goes all the way forward, all the way back, and he has an ankle pivot that doesn't have the most range, or probably more like that's as far as you can spread his legs with the feet flat on the ground still. Unfortunately, his hip leg, this one is loose this way and this one's loose this way, which is unfortunate. And then he also has a toe joint, which has pretty good range. Oh, we got a bonus character. This upside down hanging pose like this, just give him like, put a wire on his hand and he'll be hanging upside down. But yeah, so most figures can't do that, and this guy can. So he doesn't have as much articulation compared to like Sinister Six, but the posability, all the joints that he has are basically perfect examples of how to do those joints. Kind of makes sense why ToyBiz repainted this and re-released this figure so many times, just considering how good this figure is. The musculature on it, the web lines are pretty clean. Articulation, it's definitely, I would say, a perfect ToyBiz Spider-Man figure. The only way you could personally make this better, make it like actually perfect, be like if you cut some plastic around the hip here, maybe make the range a little better. And if like you had another Spider-Man figure that had individual finger joints, and if you could find a way to modify them, you could probably stick the hand on this guy and then have finger joints. But that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know if you like these, every figure of a certain body mold. And I will see you guys in the next review. Wow.